Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Tuesday edition of Proline Daily, the longest-running sports handicapping show in America. Coming to you direct from Las Vegas. Jim Feist is here. I'm Dave Cokin. We are back from our hiatus as far as the podcasts are concerned, but of course, we don't have any vacations really, Jim, as far as the handicapping is concerned. So that just continues unabated. We've got baseball tonight. NHL finals are underway, a 1-0 lead for Pittsburgh. And the NBA gets underway on Thursday, finally. Jim, 6-1 with your high-end inner circle baseball releases. And yesterday, the Indians came through. And the NBA, 61% all year long, 110-70. Just adding that up, if somebody bet $100 on each game, just a $100 bet, they'd be up $3,300. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good for my customers. They're all happy. They stuck with me from the beginning. It's been a magical year. The playoffs have been incredible. I'm not sure what my record is in the playoffs, but I think it's like 12-4. It might be 12-5 or 13-4. I don't really remember exactly, but it's really darn good. It's 3-1 for sure. I have another inner circle baseball play tonight at jimfeist.com. It's $49. That's at jimfeist.com. And we're going to get into the basketball, but I'll tell you a little bit about what I got going in basketball as well.
And I had another good day yesterday. It's been a nice month. May's been very good. Up a bundle for the month, and part of that was the Preakness. You nail about a 14-1 shot, and it's going to do your bankroll plenty of good. But no complaints at all with the other stuff either. And the baseball seems to be pretty well zoned in for me right now. Yesterday, 2-1, missed with the Phillies Marlins game over. Hey, what are you going to do? Edinson Volquez pitched a heck of a game for the Marlins. He doesn't do that often, but he did yesterday. But I had a winner with the Braves as an underdog. Mets came through for me as well. I've got a high-end play today, a value plus selection, $25 to get that at jimfeist.com. Also, if you want to get a full week of plays, you can do that, and I'll include the daily Pros versus Joes newsletter. It's not as loaded now as it is during football for obvious reasons, but it's still good information. And you can get all the plays that I post at jimfeist.com, plus the Pros versus Joes for $99 for a full week. So get on with that. Okay, let's start looking at the NBA Finals, which don't get underway till Thursday. Warriors are the favorite, obviously. They're 7 and about 225.5 right now. Warriors opened last year with a win. In fact, 2 wins at home. And they were big margin wins too, Jim. So are we likely to see something similar to that this year? That's what you have to make up your mind on going into this series.
It's been a strange, last year's series was strange with those big blowouts. The only close game there was the last game. And I spent the weekend watching all 7 games on rewind, on ESPN and on the NBA station, and then I watched the game 7 twice. There's a lot I saw in that. The players are different. There are some different pieces on each team, and of course the big name, of course, is Durant. People don't remember this, but last year Oklahoma City had the Warriors down 3-1.
Yep. And
they couldn't close them out, and they blew 3 straight games to them, similar to the way the Warriors blew the games to Cleveland. And some of it's telling. I didn't like the way Durant played in those games, especially at the closeout. I thought he came up a little short-stroked. He just wasn't. He didn't handle. Let's just say he didn't handle the pressure well. And I used to play professional pool when I was young and played in a lot of tournaments and, of course, a lot of money games. And there were times when you just weren't mentally ready.
Right.
It didn't happen too often to me. I was pretty successful at it. But I saw guys that were really actually better than me at times just choke. The pressure of the moment gets too big for them, and they can't handle it. And if you go back years ago, when LeBron was at Cleveland, he did that. just wasn't mature enough to handle the moment. You know, we are dealing with human beings here, and they're talented, and they have more talent at their sport than just about anybody else, and they're incredible. But they are human, and pressure can ruin everybody if you really handle it. There's very few people can. I haven't seen Durant show up in a big pressure championship event. Didn't happen against Miami. Didn't happen last year against the Warriors. So I'm still wondering about that. And I know everybody talks about Golden State in 5. I think they're out of their mind. This Cleveland team, and I'm not saying I'm betting Cleveland to win the series. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying not that far out of possibility. You have the best player on the planet in LeBron James. I don't care about the Michael Jordan stuff. That's a different era, different game, different styles. This guy's the best player on the planet. And Kyrie Irving is unstoppable going to the hoop. Unstoppable. Kevin Love is playing out of his mind. He's unbelievable at getting rebounds. A good scorer, plays great defense. J.R. Smith is handling everything, hitting the threes, playing good D. I mean, they've got some pieces. They added Durant Williams. They added Kyle Korver, who's hitting 3.5 threes a game. This is a different team, and they've added pieces as well. This is not a 5-game series, folks. In my mind, this is going 7. And it's going to come down to the last couple minutes in Game 7. That's who's going to win. Now, you do have home court advantage. That's meaningful. You do have revenge from last year. I don't think that's that meaningful because I think these guys are getting up anyway. But it might mean a little bit in the first couple minutes of Game 1. But you do have Durant, who's definitely a scorer. With Durant and Curry and Thompson, they're prolific. They have lost a little bit, but they've added some pieces as well. They've got big guys in the middle when they bring them in. This is a competitive series, and anybody saying this is in 5, I'll like to book their bet.
I think there's one key that I'm looking for. When you're looking at a series, try and find the one most important variable. And I think in this series, it's the number of three-point shots that Cleveland makes. Now, they're a very good three-point shooting team. They've been tremendous in the playoffs. Love is 38 for 80. Korver, 22 for 53. Smith, 22 for 49. Fry, 20 for 38 off the bench. That's tremendous. But one thing to note is that the Warriors have only given up more than 14 threes in a game once all season. That's tremendous, considering the way the NBA game is played these days. So I think that's the magic number, Jim, is can Cleveland get more than 14 threes in games? If they can't, I think they're in trouble. If they can, well, they're probably going to win the series. Now, when I look at these playoff series, I try to find one key variable to focus on that I think will determine what happens in the series. And in this one, I think it's the made three-pointers. And John Cranton provided some really good stats for us. And look at this. Kevin Love, 38 for 80. Korver, 22 for 53. Smith, 22 for 49. Fry, guy who nobody pays attention to. He's, not one of the focal points. 20 for 38. Those are big numbers. And that, to me, is going to be the key here because the Warriors have only given up more than 14 three-pointers in a game once the entire season. I mean, they've been tremendous in terms of defending the three. So that becomes the magic number to me, Jim. If the Cavaliers can get past that magic 14, I think they're going to be in great shape in this series. But if they can't, if Golden State is actively defending that three and making them settle for other things, then I think the Warriors are probably going to be in charge.
Excellent points, Dave. There is one factor that I want you and everyone else to consider when you're thinking about the three-point shot. Cleveland has 2 guys on their team that drive to the hoop better than just about anybody else in the league. And they're both on the same team. One is LeBron James. The other is Kyrie Irving. When you get up in their face, they can go around you. And when you have a wide open floor, when the defenders are out on the perimeter guarding all the three-point shooters, you got nobody protecting the rim. And you can't stop either one of those guys when they go to the hoop. This may not be the three-point shooting contest everybody is thinking it's going to be. If you play defense on the perimeter, there's one thing left wide open if you have the players to do it. And the Cleveland Cavaliers do have that.
It's going to be fun to watch, and we'll talk more about it as we close in on this series, which finally gets underway on Thursday. Plenty of time to hype this one. Let's look at a baseball game tonight. And this has some interesting intangibles tonight as the Red Sox take on the White Sox. White Sox getting the win in the series opener last night. The Red Sox playing better lately, had won 6 in a row, but now they've dropped 2. They lost the series finale to Seattle and then got beaten last night. Interesting to note, they've killed lefties at Fenway in terms of winning games, but not so good on the road. Now, they've had trouble with lefties away from home, and they're facing one tonight in Jose Quintana. Some notes on Quintana. He's having a really lousy season. Now, you don't go by the wins and losses with Quintana because for whatever reason, he's never gotten good run support pitching for the White Sox. And for the past few years, this guy's been, I think, a borderline top 30 pitcher. But his one-loss record would never show that. But if you look at the peripherals, they were fantastic. And that's why when there was buzz over the winter about, the White Sox being in trade mode and selling off their main pieces, that Quintana was going to net a tremendous haul. Well, that's kind of blowing up in the White Sox face because this year, the one-loss record is not misleading. Quintana has not pitched well for the White Sox. He's giving up a lot of hits. His walk-to-strikeout ratio, the strikeouts are still there, but the walk rate is much higher than we used to. He's walked 24 batters. That's too many for him. He should be more around 15, and you get extra base runners means trouble. So his ERA is high, and his peripherals just aren't very good. He's off a bad game at Arizona where I believe he was perfect for the first 3 innings and then got absolutely blown up after that. It looked like he was throwing batting practice out there. So something isn't right with Quintana. The most interesting part of this matchup is Chris Sale going back to his old team. Sale traded over the winter, a big, big deal with the White Sox getting 2 great prospects for the Red Sox, Yohan Moncada, who probably could be up now, but there's no reason to have him up really, and Michael Kopech, who he can hit like 105. I mean, this guy's got an unbelievable arm. Maturity's been an issue with him, but the tools are there for him to become, if you want a comparison, he could be a Noah Syndergaard type. That's how nasty his stuff is. So I think it was a good deal for both teams because Sale already a Cy Young contender. His unbelievable numbers, and he actually could be unbeaten. That's how good he's been. I think the Red Sox will win this because I have no faith in Quintana at this point. The problem, Jim, is it's in the price. Looking at 167? Is that what I have to get my screen up here very quickly to see what this is.
Right, Dave.
Yeah, 167, 170 range. I don't think that's.
Chris has got it 182 at the moment, at 167 at Pinnacle.
I think that's too much. If I were going to play the game, I'm not playing the game, but if I were going to play it, I would go with the value because as much as the pitching favors the Red Sox, the team stuff is not that far from being even, especially when you factor in the Red Sox lack of success against lefties on the road. So I think the value is the White Sox, but I don't recommend it. I think Chris Sale is really going to want to show something tonight against his former team, and I just don't trust Jose Quintana at this point.
I'd agree, Dave. I mean, I'll give out a free play here. This is one of those things where it's not a big price you're laying. I'm laying 1.5 runs with Boston, laying 119 on that. You can shop. You can lay 104 at some outs. 119 is about the max on it. But that's not a terrible price for the quality of pitcher versus quality of pitcher. Yes, they're on the road. It's a big event. The team, the player coming back to the team, et cetera, et cetera. But, when you look at the Quintana's efforts against Sale, it's worth a small bet, maybe a half a unit, maybe a full unit, depending on what kind of player you are at that point. But I put a lot of emphasis on Sale in this game.
Yeah, me too. I think that's the overriding factor, and it's why, even though I think there's value on the White Sox, I'm definitely not playing it. I do have one game that's up tonight that I like quite a bit, and that is a value plus play, and you can get it for $25 online at jimfeist.com. And don't forget, if you want free plays every day and a recorded message, it's easy. Just call 888-294-1970.
I've got an Inner Circle Baseball play tonight, $49 at jimfeist.com. I'm going to have some heavy-duty action on this NBA play this week, so you want to stay tuned to what I'm doing there. Make sure you go to jimfeist.com. You can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Jim Feist Sports, and you can get a free play if you care to. Just text GAME, GAME, to 25827.
And that'll do it for the Tuesday edition of Proline Daily, but we will do it. We had so much fun. We'll do it again tomorrow. So make sure to have a great Tuesday night. And for Jim Feist, I'm Dave Cokin. We'll see you later on Proline Daily.